Hello and welcome to Amsterdam, the capital city of the Netherlands. During this visit, we will show you some of the typical tourist highlights, but also some of the most popular places for local people to hang out. Amsterdam is a fairly young city, originating as a small fishing village in the late 12th century. It evolved to become one of the most important ports in the world during the Dutch Golden Age of the 17th century, when it became the leading centre for the finance and trade sectors. These days, Amsterdam is perhaps best known internationally for its canals, culture, and of course, its coffee shops and red light district. Dam Square. The name finds its origin in its former function, a dam. On the west end of the square, you'll see the neoclassical Royal Palace. It served as the city hall from 1655 until its conversion to a royal residence in 1809. Other landmarks on this square include the 15th century Gothic New Church and the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. On the opposite side of the square, you can see the National Monument, a white stone pillar designed by J.J.P. Oud and erected in 1956 to memorialize the victims of World War II. Every year, this is where the National Memorial Day is held. To the east of Dam Square lies a network of canals known as De Wallen, the largest and best-known red light district in Amsterdam and one of the city's major tourist attractions. Next to approximately 300 one-room cabins rented by prostitutes who offer their sexual services, the area also has a number of sex shops, peep shows, a sex museum, a cannabis museum, and a number of coffee shops that sell cannabis, which of course is legal in the Netherlands. The Western Market, a few minutes' walk from Dam Square. It is dominated by the Western Church, one of the iconic landmarks of Amsterdam. The main reason to stop by the Western Market, however, is a visit to the Anne Frank House, a museum dedicated to wartime diarist Anne Frank, a young Jewish girl who hid from Nazi persecution with her family and 4 other people in hidden rooms. Sadly, all of them were captured, and only Anne Frank's father survived the atrocities. The Homo Monument commemorates all victims of persecution because of their sexuality. The monument is formed like 3 large pink triangles made of granite set into the ground so as to form a larger triangle. It was the first monument in the world to commemorate gays and lesbians who were killed by the Nazis. Today, there are several national days of celebration in which the Homo Monument becomes a hotspot of festivities like King's Day, Liberation Day, and of course, the Gay Pride. The Western Market lies in the center of the Jordaan. Originally a working-class neighborhood, the Jordaan has become one of the most expensive upscale locations in the Netherlands. It is home to many art galleries, particularly for modern art, and you can also find a lot of specialty shops and restaurants. In the heart of the Jordaan lies this picturesque Johnny Jordaan Plein, a square named after the Dutch folk singer who made fame singing about Amsterdam and Jordaan in particular. The statue in the middle is that of Johnny Jordaan. The other 4 are other famous musicians from this neighborhood. An important street that connects the center of Amsterdam to the west is the Haarlemmerstraat, the street that's popular with both locals and tourists, but a wide variety of shops, bars, restaurants, and of course, a couple of good coffee shops. If you follow the street to the west, you'll end up in the Western Park. The Western Park is a small park compared to Vondelpark, but arguably more relaxed to hang out. It's less crowded and touristy than other more central parks, which is why it's very popular among locals. On a sunny day, you'll find a nice mix of people, young and old, here. Right next to Western Park is this Westergas terrain, an old industrial site and the biggest gas extraction plant in the Netherlands until its closure in 1989. In 2003, the area was reopened as a cultural hotspot with plenty of bars, clubs, theatres, and a cinema. This round building in front of you is called the Gashouder, or gas holder, which basically served as a gas reservoir. These days, it's a popular venue for all sorts of events, mainly some major electronic music festivals like Awakenings and Amsterdam Dance Event. We are now in the northern part of Amsterdam, one of the most interesting and fastest growing parts of the city. Up until 15 years ago, this used to be an industrial area, but these days it's buzzing with activity. Probably one of the best examples of that transition is this tall building called the Amsterdam Tower. It used to be Shell's head office, but these days it houses some restaurants, a club, and there's even a swing on top of the rotating roof. Another eye-catching building here is the Eye. It's a film archive and museum that preserves and presents both Dutch and foreign films screened in the Netherlands. The museum's goal is the safeguarding of film heritage for future generations. The collection includes 37,000 film titles, 60,000 posters, 700,000 photographs, and 20,000 books from all over the world. This rough yet photogenic terrain is the NDSM Wharf. It used to be a shipbuilding wharf until 1984. At the end of the 90s, it slowly transformed into a creative hotspot, and it has since developed into one of the hottest areas in town. Many incubators started here, and it is famous for the dance parties that are held here every year, like Digital Festival and many others. See the crane there? It's hard to miss. It's an original crane that was used in the ship wharf. These days, you can spend a night here, as they turned it into a one-room hotel. As you can see, the NDSM offers a perfect place to stay, as you can overlook all of Amsterdam. Of course, one of the best ways to discover Amsterdam is by boat. It's one of the favourite ways for locals to spend the summer's day. A bunch of friends, a couple of cold drinks, and a boat ride on the Canals of Amsterdam. One of the main arteries running through the east side of Amsterdam, through the Indonesian area, is this Javastraat. It's a street that's always bustling with activity, and it's filled with shops, bars, and a wide variety of restaurants serving cuisine from all over the world. The Netherlands officially abolished slavery in the colonies of Suriname and the Dutch Antilles in July 1863. In 2002, Surinamese sculptor Erwin de Vries was selected to design a memorial in the lovely Oosterpark. The sculpture is made up of 3 elements. The first element represents slavery, its dark and dramatic history. The second represents breaking through the wall of resistance in the modern day. And the third element represents the longing for freedom and a better future. Now for one of the more central and touristy hotspots. Museum Square is not per se a place that locals like to hang out, but it is a super photogenic site and one of the main squares you pass if you travel from the west side of Amsterdam to the east side. Museum Square is obviously named after the famous Rijksmuseum, the pretty building on the far side of this field. There are several other museums that surround the square, like the Van Gogh Museum, Stedelijk Museum, and the Moco Museum. Another famous building that borders the square is the Royal Concert Hall, or Concertgebouw. It's the pretty building on the other side of the street, behind the tram stop. This huge bathtub-shaped building is the Stedelijk Museum, a museum for modern and contemporary art and design. The museum has a huge collection, with a core focus on Bauhaus, De Stijl, pop art, and Cobra, and it's definitely worth a visit. This is Hoge Sluis, one of the many crossings over the Amstel. The river turned into a canal, from which Amsterdam derives its name some centuries ago. The tall building waving a Dutch flag is the Amstel Hotel, favourite with pop stars like the Rolling Stones and Rihanna when they visit Amsterdam. Another, and one of the most picturesque and romantic crossings over the Amstel, is this Magere Brug, which translates as Skinny Bridge. What makes it so romantic is that it's covered in hundreds of lights, so at night it looks especially pretty. It's also the place where this tour comes to an end. I hope you had a great time visiting Amsterdam. Thank you for watching.